Hello to the nation, Dr. PlayStation Nation here, Zaki is over quite a cool mod today. As you guys can see, we are in the mod spotlight world, and today the mod that we're going to be talking about is the KK Simple Arrows mod, or Arrow mod. This is kind of like Elemental Arrows by Rusugami, but not quite the same thing. This is a very simple mod, as the title would suggest, and it's different in a way. It's not really elements, but it's more of minerals and stuff like that, so I really think this is kind of neat, and I definitely suggest checking it out. Before I get started though, I'd just like to mention two quick things. One, remember guys to rate the video if you guys do like it. If you guys are going to go check out the forum page in the description, if you guys are going to, try and install this mod, or even if you think it's just kind of a neat mod, a rating would greatly be appreciated because it really does help, make my videos more well known and stuff like that. So now that I've kind of said that, another thing is this mod is Forge compatible, but you cannot do the normal throw it in the mods folder. Instead, you need to put it in your Minecraft jar, but it also suggests that you install Forge prior to that. So if you guys want to know how to install Forge, click the link down below in the description to a video where I show you guys how to install it. So now I've said both those things, let's kind of get started. So first things first, let's go over the items that it adds into the game. Now, simple's in the title, and this mod is very simple. So the normal crafting recipe for an arrow is still there, guys. As you guys can see, flint, stick, feather, you get 4 arrows. That's how that one's going to work, and that's basically going to be our base as far as damage multipliers go, and as far as retrievability goes. So a normal arrow is going to have 1 damage multiplier pretty much. So that's going to be our base, and then it's also going to have 0 retrievability. So when you shoot something on the normal arrow, as you guys should know, you cannot pick it up anymore. So if you hit something, if you hit just the ground, you can go pick it up, but if you hit something like an enemy or whatever, you cannot pick it up. Whereas these other arrows over here change that up a little bit. So pretty much you have a arrow for every different element aside from, of course, redstone and lapis lazuli. You have wooden arrows, you have stone arrows, you have golden arrows, you have iron arrows, and you have diamond arrows. Now the crafting recipes for these arrowheads are pretty simple. There's just going to be 3 kind of like that, and that's going to give you 4 arrowheads, so they're pretty good. Gold's going to give you 8, as well as iron's going to give you 8, and then diamond's going to give you 8. But the 2 lesser ones will only give you the 4. The next thing is the crafting the actual arrow. Now, the wooden arrow is something a little bit special because you use grass instead of using feathers. And the main reason I believe that that's kind of cool is because it gives you the ability to make arrows an actual viable weapon at the very beginning of the game. It's not usually until, you get a farm going where you have feathers, you get a bunch of gravel and stuff where you can actually get arrows, and this is kind of cool that it adds it in there. For wooden arrows, the damage multiplier is actually going to be 0.5, so it's going to be, 0.5 a damage multiplier, so it's going to be half as much damage as the normal arrow, but you still can make arrows extremely easily. This down here, we're going to get to this after. The next one is going to be stone, and stone arrows have a 0.66 multiplier, so it's 2/3 of the damage of the normal arrow. Then we have the normal arrow, which is 1, and then we have the golden arrow, which is actually 1.2, so it's a little bit stronger. It's about 1/5 stronger than the normal arrow. Then you have the iron arrow, which is going to be 1.6, so it's just over 1.5 times. And then finally you have the diamond arrow, which is going to be 2 times as powerful. And as you guys can see, all of these ones are going to use the feather in the back, and you just put arrowhead, stick, feather, and except for the wooden one, which has the grass at the back. If you guys want to make the flammable arrow, this can only be crafted with the wooden arrow, and pretty much it's shapeless crafting. It doesn't matter how you put it in, but you can put up to 4 arrows in the crafting bench at one time with a piece of paper, and it'll give you 4 flammable arrows, or as many arrows that you put in. So that's kind of cool. That's how those are going to work, and we're going to talk about them a little bit. So we're going to throw some of these arrows into my inventory here. So actually, let's keep these ones in here. We're going to throw a bunch of these arrows in, and I'll show you guys how this works, because it also does add the ability with multiple arrows, the ability to choose which ones you want to shoot. So now that I threw them all into my inventory, we're going to back up here, and the reason why I have this flint and steel is because the flint and steel is required if you guys want to light these flammable arrows. So if you guys see right next to where it says bow at the bottom of the screen, that little item ID, it says D, and D stands for diamond. So if I were to pull this back right now, a diamond bow, or a diamond arrow is actually loaded into this, and as you guys can see, it's going to fire off. now we're going to talk a little bit about the retrievability of these. Diamond is actually 80% retrievable, so these diamond arrows are actually 80% retrievable, so most of the time when you hit something, you're going to be able to pick them up. Iron is going to be 60% retrievable, and gold is going to be 40% retrievable. So, you know, kind of iron and diamond, you're going to get, you know, more of your bang for your buck, I sort of guess, depending on how often you actually hit things and what you're kind of shooting at. So I definitely suggest checking those out, especially because you're getting 8 arrowheads for these ones. Definitely go for these ones. So that's kind of the retrievability, and there's also multipliers that we're going to talk about later that make it more retrievable. But like I said, if you guys are pulling back, you know, you can shoot your diamond arrow, it'll be bow and then in brackets D. But if you hit F and C, it'll actually cycle through all the possible ones. So we're going to see different prefixes here, or different letters here. N stands for the normal, then you have G that stands for gold, you have I that stands for iron, D that for diamond, W for wooden, F is the flammable one, so as you guys can see now there's that little fire animation right on the front here. And if I was actually underground and I did not have this ultra brightness kind of edit to my Minecraft, then this would actually make it bright around me, as well as when I shoot it, when it lands, it will make it bright around that as well. And fire spread is on, so I'm going to put that out. And then, yeah, so that's kind of cool. I definitely do think that that's kind of a neat thing, and I really do like this. But now we're going to talk a little bit about the other stuff. They added 2 achievements into the game, which is double kills and multi-kills. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you guys right now. So, how many of these guys are actually left in here? Not much, huh? Not much. Okay, so we're going to have to go spawn some more of these guys in so that I can show you guys the multiplier that is added. Also, guys, before I get started killing these people and showing you guys their retrievability, I would also like to mention that if you enchant your bow, so if you have power or infinity, those enchantments have been modified. Power will not increase it as much as it did, or else things would be way too powerful, as well as the infinity enchantment, you no longer get infinite amount of arrows, because with the retrievability, you could then duplicate arrows. So, anyway, that's pretty much it, and let's get on. Okay, so we are back, guys, and this guy just glitched through. Oh, he's not glitching through here. So pretty much what we're going to try and do here is show you guys the multiplier. So like I said, diamond arrows, iron arrows, and golden arrows all have a retrievability linked to them. And pretty much that retrievability can go up depending on if you're getting a double kill or a multi-kill. So, the diamond normally has an 80% retrievability rate, but as I shoot an enemy or something like that, the arrow does not disappear when I hit the enemy, therefore it can continue going and hit multiple enemies. If it hits a second enemy, there will actually be a 10% retrievability increase, which goes up to 90%, but sadly it won't continue to go because the highest retrievability percentage that you can get is 90. But for instance, if I was using this golden arrow and it went through one enemy, that would be 5% more than the 40% it already has, which would be 45%. And then if it goes through another enemy, then that would be 50%, and another enemy, 55%. So if you get really lucky, you could actually go through a bunch of enemies. So we're going to actually demonstrate that for you. I'm actually going to cycle through my arrows until I get to my diamond arrow, because I want as high likelihood of the arrow going through multiple enemies. It's actually going to show in the chat as well, so as you guys can see, I just got a multi-kill. Multi-kill. And then, oh, no more multi-kill. There you go, another multi-kill. Another multi-kill. Another multi-kill. And the reason that they're all multi-kills, guys, is because I dropped them all, so they all have about 1 heart of health left. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of XP here, and this is actually an absurd amount of XP. Pretty much you get extra XP when you get multi-kills, when you get double kills, so that's why there's so much on the ground right now. So by killing like 10 zombies, I just went up like 3 levels, and going up, you know, the 28th, 9th, and 30th, and 31st level, those are like huge levels, so that require a lot of points. So this is definitely cool. I really do like how they added that ability to it, because it's gonna, you know, maybe make you a lot more likely to make, you know, your XP farms and stuff like that. It makes it actually really valuable because you can do this sort of stuff, and then you can actually retrieve the arrows afterwards. So anyway, guys, hopefully you kind of did enjoy this video. If you guys did, if you guys like this mod, remember to check out the forum page. Remember, guys, to rate the video down below, as well as subscribe, join the nation if you already haven't. I try and do these things a lot, and show you guys some pretty cool mods. So anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy. I'm the Doctor, and I'm out. Peace.